Good morning. We are on our final day, day 10 of our Preventing Joint Pain 10 by 10 challenge. So thank you for staying with us for the 10 days. Hopefully you're starting to feel better. We are going to finish up our challenge with 5 stretches. So the first stretch we are going to go over is how to properly do a forward fold to kind of stretch the back of your hamstrings. So what we're going to do is you're going to take a nice deep breath in and bring your hands over your head. And then I want you, as you let your breath out, reach forward, but keep your spine long as you reach forward and then down towards your toes. So you don't want to really round right away. Then you can take another breath and then let your spinal muscles relax. Go only as low as it feels good for you in your back or your hamstrings, but you want to keep a nice long spine. So especially if you have any joint pain in your low back, this can be a good way to do a forward fold without getting pain in your lower back. Take a few deep breaths here. You should be able to get a little bit lower with each breath. We have our guest. One more breath, and then you're going to, as you inhale, come up. You can reach up and then bring your hands down. So forward folds are great lengthening exercise for your spine and kind of stretch out that whole posterior chain. The next exercise we are going to do is a side bending stretch. So a lot of times too, when we're sitting in our desk all day, we can get really tight from being hunched forward, but it also can feel really good to stretch out your sides. So stand with your feet shoulder width apart, and then you're going to take one hand, reach it up overhead. If it hurts your shoulder to bring your arm overhead, you can always do everything with your hand propped at your hip. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a breath. As you breathe out, reach over to the opposite side. Again, keeping your spine long. So you don't want to just let your spine kind of crumble. When you're reaching up and over, think of your spine staying long and neutral and then over. And you should get a nice long stretch in your lats, in your rib cage. The serratus anterior muscle is the muscle in between your ribs. So stretching this out can help you really take a deeper breath. And again, you can bring that hand down to your side and still reach over with a long spine. Take a few deep breaths here. Again, we hold these stretches typically for about 30 seconds or 5 deep breaths. One more deep breath, and then come back to the middle. Now we're going to do the other side. So nice long arm. Take a deep breath in, let it out, drop to that other side, keeping your spine nice and long. You can also just rest your hand here if your shoulders bother you. Again, we should feel that stretch in the side body right here. Nice deep breaths. Take a couple. This really can help that mid-back pain. Also, if you're getting any rib pain, not really a joint, but you can feel really tight. That helps. Keeping those muscles loose just helps your joints in general. Last breath, come back to center. All right, next up, we are just going to do some wrist stretches. So we've talked a lot about if you work on your computer, but also if you do any fine motor skills throughout the day, taking care of kids, if you're cooking, anything with your wrists, it's good to stretch out your forearms. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your arm, you're going to hold it out in front of you, palm facing you, and then you're just going to gently take your opposite arm and pull gently back. We're stretching out those extensors on the back of the forearm. And take a few deep breaths. One more. And then we're going to flip your hand over. So now your palm is facing out. Again, straight arm and gently pull back. This is really good stretching out your wrists if you get wrist or elbow pain. If your forearms are tight, you'll get a lot of wrist or elbow pain. Also, if you play any sports that you're using, like golf or tennis, where you're really moving your wrists and elbows a lot, stretching out your forearms is a great idea. All right, we're gonna switch arms here. So hold that hand out in front of you, straight down. Again, I'm just gonna turn forward so you can see a different angle of this stretch. And this is stretching out the flexors on the back or the top of your forearm. One more breath. We'll flip it over, pull back on the fingers, just like so. Now we're stretching out those flexors. These can get really tight. One more breath. And if you also get pain in your wrist, just doing some wrist circles, just like we did our neck circles, that can also feel really good, just to kind of get the joint moving and the synovial fluid in that joint moving around. All right, next up, we're going to stretch the back of the arms. So triceps can get really tight. Pull on the elbow, pull on the shoulder. So this is if you have the mobility to put your arm over your head, you can do that. And then so we'll take your left arm, raise it up like you're going to pat yourself on the back. Take your right arm, grab that opposite elbow and pull. You should feel just a slight stretch here. If it hurts to put your elbow or your arms above your head, you can also rest. If you have like a surface, I'll use my couch, you can kind of rest your elbows and pull down gently with both arms, and that can stretch out your triceps too. It's a little bit easier on your shoulder joint, but I feel like this is a little bit more effective if you're able to put your arm overhead. Last breath. Then we'll bring your arms down. Take your right arm up, bend it, pat yourself on the back, grab your right elbow with your left arm and pull. Try and keep your neck loose here. One more deep breath. And bring those arms down. All right, last exercise is a cat-cow. So what you're going to do is go down to the floor. You'll be kneeling on your hands and knees. If you get knee pain, put a blanket, fold it up under your knees. That can help with the kneeling. You can also do this seated in a chair. But what you're going to do, if you're doing this seated in a chair, just follow the same cues. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in, and as you breathe in, I want you to let your belly drop towards the floor. If you're doing this in a chair, push your belly out. And then as you breathe out, you're going to round your spine up towards the ceiling or towards the back of the chair. Let your neck follow. Breathe in, drop your belly. Breathe out, push through the spine. We're just creating mobility again in your spine. And just keep moving like that. So you'll notice if you have back pain, we're always trying to create gentle movement in the spine, keeping it nice and long. One more breath. All right, fabulous. And those are your 5 stretches for day 10 of our joint pain challenge. If you have seen improvements with some of these exercises or have any questions, we'd love to hear about it in the comments. We also offer one-on-one and small group personal training in person and online. So if you'd like to do a little bit more in-depth work on your specific joint pain, we offer a complimentary consultation to all new clients. You can sign up on our website at breakthroughfitnessmn.com. We'd love to answer your questions about joint pain. Thanks, and we hope to see you soon.